One of the questions I'm asked most regularly is, how should I set keyword bids in my Google AdWords account? And the way that we've done this in the past, and to a large extent the way that it's still done today, is that you set a maximum cost per click bid on the ad groups or the keywords in your account, depending on what you can afford to pay. The process then has been to look at your AdWords data, normally on a monthly basis, and raise your keyword bids on the keywords that are converting profitably, and lower your keyword bids on the keywords that are performing at a loss. So in a way, it's been a bit like driving a car and only looking out of the rear view window. And when you raise your keyword bids, you're effectively tapping on the accelerator. And when you lower your keyword bids, you're tapping on the brake. If you pause the keyword, I guess that you've slammed the handbrake on. But the problem is that Google is a lot better at keyword management than you are, and is a lot better than you can ever be, really. In the last few years, we've seen them introduce a number of tools that effectively adjust your keyword bids in real time based on more data points than you have access to. So we've seen Conversion Optimizer introduced. So Conversion Optimizer allows you to set a cost per conversion bid rather than a keyword bid, and then Google set your bids depending on how likely they think an individual search is to convert in real time. And we've seen the introduction of enhanced CPC, which is where you still set a keyword bid, but Google can adjust your keyword bid depending on other data factors. For example, whether they think that that search in that particular geography and that device is likely to convert at that moment. So the reason Google are better at it than you are is because Google aren't looking out of the rear view mirror. They're looking at more data points in real time and adjusting your keyword bids accordingly. The problem with all of this up until now is that it's only been possible to use tools like Conversion Optimizer and Enhanced CPC at campaign level. So previously it's been a campaign setting where either your whole campaign uses what's known as a CPA bid, which is a cost per conversion bid, or your whole campaign uses cost per click bids, or your whole campaign uses enhanced CPC bids. And it's not really been possible to mix and match. Towards the end of last year, Google introduced something called flexible bidding and bid strategies, which sounds incredibly scary and incredibly complicated, but it's really not. And it's really, I think it's not been talked about enough. And I think this is really the future of managing your bids in Google AdWords. So what effectively you can do with flexible bidding is you can say for different parts of your account, so say for particular ad groups or particular keywords that you want to use maybe a cost per conversion bid on terms that you're really trying to watch your costs on. And there might be other keywords in a particular campaign that you really want to get to the top of the page and you really want to maximize your exposure on. And that's what flexible bidding allows you to do. It allows you to set different bidding mechanisms on different parts of the campaign. So I'll try and explain that a little bit better. But what you need to do first is you need to come into the shared library of your account, come to bidding strategies, and you need to create the bidding strategies that you want to use in your account. So there's a green button here for bid strategy, and there's a number that you can create. You can create an enhanced CPC bidding strategy. So with enhanced CPC, you still set max cost per click bids on your keywords and ad groups, but Google can dynamically adjust your keyword bids by plus or minus 30%, depending on how likely they think a particular search is to convert. You can set bids to target the top of the page. I'm a bit skeptical about this option. I think it's, in general, a way to waste a lot of money. But I'm very focused in my work on achieving conversions at a particular cost. There will be cases where you want to make sure your ads are at the top, and this is one way of achieving that, but it will mean that you spend a lot more money. You can set a target CPA, so CPA is cost per action, which is conversion optimizer effectively. You can select to maximize your clicks, so there might be some terms in your account where you really just want to maximize your exposure. So again, this isn't something I use very often because I think it generally wastes a bit of money, but you know, there's with all these settings, there's a time and a place, and it's picking the right time and place for these things. And a new one which I think is incredibly powerful is to target a particular return on ad spend. This is really great for e-commerce websites where you have revenue information in Google AdWords. So what you could do, for example, is you could target a return on ad spend of 120 or 150%, meaning that what Google will do is they will try and adjust your bids so that for every £100 or $100, for example, you're spending on an ad group or on a keyword, they'll try and make sure that you earn £100 or $150 back, depending on what you set the percentage as. So where you've got enough conversion information, this is really powerful. So these three strategies, enhance CPC, target CPA, and target return on ad spend, all rely on conversion information in your account. You have to be tracking conversions, and the more conversions you have, the better this works. If you've not got many conversions, then I don't recommend doing this. I recommend sticking to regular CPC bidding. But what you can then do, so I've set up a number of bidding strategies. So, you know, I've set a target CPA of £4, which is about what I'm aiming for. I've got a return on ad spend of 120%, and then just to illustrate, I've got a top of page and enhanced CPC. What I can then do in my account, so if I come into a particular, so this is a list of ad groups in one of my campaigns, what I might do for one of my ad groups, for example, this works as well if you're on the keywords tab, but let's say, for example, I want to change the bidding strategy on this ad group. I can check it, I can come to bid strategy, and I can select use flexible bidding strategy. And I might decide for this ad group that I just want to appear at the top of the page, or I might want to try using an enhanced CPC. So what I would be telling Google is I'd be telling Google to adjust my keyword bids depending on whether they think that a particular search is likely to convert or not. So it gives you a lot more flexibility to use some of these tools at a much more granular level in your account. And I think this is really the future, because where possible, we want to be letting Google manage the bids and leaving you to do things that I think are more valuable in your account. So things like testing different ads, testing different landing pages, because they're the things that lead to permanent improvements in your results. So I hope that's helped, and I hope that sort of explained what flexible bidding is. If you've got questions about it, then do get in touch with me. If you'd like to just run through it in your account, I have a consulting package available, but I can run through how that works with you in more detail on the phone if you like. So if you've got any questions, do get in touch with me, but otherwise, I hope that's helped. Thanks.